would like to call this meeting of the City of Angels Camp on, what do we got here? June 2nd, 2026 to order, please. Can we do roll call?
Councilmember Scott.
Here. No.
Vice Mayor Tremente. Acting Alvin.
Here.
And then Councilmember Kara Scott. Here. And then Vice Mayor, or no, Mayor, sorry. You guys are all out of order. Sharado.
You're out of order.
And let's do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next will be item number 6, report out of closed session. That actually changed and we did not have a closed session. Item number 7, presentations.
No presentations.
To my knowledge. Item number 8, approval of the agenda as posted or amended. Do I have anybody up here that wants to do it? Any member of the public? Going once, twice, I look for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, or no? Yeah, never mind.
Roll call, Beagle.
Aye.
Tremente absent. Berlio.
Aye.
Scott. Aye. Passes.
Got it. Number 9 is public comment. The public may address the city council on any item of public interest not otherwise on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of the city. No action may be taken. Matters to be addressed may be referred to city staff or placed on a subsequent meeting agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes per person. Do we have any public comment?
I have a question. I'm new.
Go for it.
Can I just talk to you guys like normal
If you
human
do
being?
have a public comment, can you step over to the podium?
So my only question is
Sure.
it on the agenda or is it something that's not in this agenda?
I don't know. It's about water. Is it about water rates?
Is it about the water
Yeah,
rates?
That's further on the agenda.
Yep,
Oh,
then we'll wait till, yeah, because,
I'm
okay.
new. Sorry.
No, you're
We'll guide you along the way. Ask us all the questions you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Copy that. Thank you.
None online, I'm assuming?
Nothing on mine.
Okay. Close public comment. Move on to item number 10, consent agenda. Does anybody want to pull anything off of consent or any questions? Public, anything off of consent to pull?
Nothing on mine.
If not, I'd look for a motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll move the consent agenda.
I'll second. Roll call, Beagle.
Aye.
Tremente absent. Berlio.
Aye.
Scott. Aye. Sharado absent.
Passes 3-2. Item number 11, action items. Resolution 2660, extend the planning service contract for for Augustine Planning Associates to include June 30th, 2028. Mr. Hodds.
Yep. Well, thank you, and good evening. So as the council knows, we have a couple of services that are done through contracts. Obviously, city attorney, also our engineer, and then Amy does our planning. She serves kind of as we need her, comes regularly 2 days a week in additional projects. Her current contract was for 3 years. That would expire in June. It does have a 2-year extension on it, and so I'm coming to you today to ask for you to approve that extension of her contract, which will take us 2 more years at the same terms that were previously approved, and it's not to exceed $90,000 a year unless the council approves special projects or the like. And so the request is that the council approve a 2-year extension for Ms. Amy, who does fantastic work.
Any council questions?
Amy, is this what you want?
Yep.
Any public comments?
Nothing
Online?
on mine.
Okay. I will bring it back to the board.
I'll make a resolution to pass Resolution 26-16.
You're making a motion?
I did say that, didn't I?
No, you said I'll make a motion.
I'll second your motion for the resolution.
Beagle.
Aye.
Tremente absent. Berlio.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Sharado absent.
Amy, thank you. You're
Thank
awesome.
you.
You do great work. You're amazing.
You are amazing.
I gotta go listen to the Giants lose now.
No,
Oh, don't put that out there. They got this.
that was it. 11B, Resolution 2659, Habitat for Humanity Community Volunteer Beautification Project. Michael Hodson.
Yep, so Habitat for Humanity has some requirements in order to participate in their program that requires sweat equity is their term, right? You gotta typically participate in the building of your own home, but for our development, it wasn't really practical, and there's so many folks in such size that they wanted to do some work for the city as well. And so we intended to do that. The challenge was going to be that every single person was going to need an MOU and a hold harmless and all that kind of thing. And so Habitat for Humanity has agreed to enter into an MOU with us where we will have one single contract with them, and then they will individually take care of each of those triples. So it makes the staff work significantly easier. One agreement with Habitat for Humanity, and then they will subcontract and make agreements with their folks. So the request is that you adopt Resolution 2659, approving the MOU between City of Angels and Calaveras Habitat for Humanity.
Council questions?
If I understand this correctly, they also have a neighborhood rejuvenation program that could dovetail into this. It could also, I know that a lot of folks in the downtown were asking for beautification of the downtown. Habitat can do a lot of that stuff as part of their neighborhood revitalization program. And their volunteers, so the people who are buying those homes need to do the sweat equity, and it has to be kind of construction-like stuff. So they can't, make copies and work in the office so much. They've got to get out there and do stuff. So this is a really good opportunity for us to partner with them and get creative and see what
So
they
their
can do.
500 hours, is it on their house?
It doesn't have to be on their
No.
house. It can be,
That's-
anywhere. So this is a creative way of getting the
Yeah.
volunteer hours done, and we should take advantage of that. And thank them for it.
That ties there, go ahead.
In the MOU, there are some that have already been identified. There's pulling weeds and breaking chips and cleaning up graffiti, landscaping, et cetera. Don't know a lot of beautification, exactly I think what you're referring to.
So that ties in, I saw there was some stuff in there. When those get checked off, can we add in new things? Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
we've been asking for various projects from our staff and from others.
They can paint neighborhood, they can paint a lot of stuff, and they can really do a lot of interesting stuff.
Any public comment?
Nothing online.
I'll bring it back to the board for,
I'll move that we approve the resolution.
I will second resolution 2659.
Roll call, Behill.
Aye.
Shemente, absent. Berlio.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Sharado, absent. Motion passes.
Okay. 11C, resolution 2655. Approve agreement between the City of Angels and Bret Harte Union High School District for a police officer service at Bret Harte High School. Once again, Michael.
Yep. So this is the agreement for the School Resource Officer, or SRO, for Bret Harte. These are pretty traditional agreements in which we provide a police officer that's basically there full-time, not an obligation to be there. Sometimes you might be sick or the like, but for whatever hours they put in there, then the school pays us the full, all-encumbered cost of that police officer. And so our intention is to have the same officer at last year, Kirkman, I believe was his name. Going forward, that may change to someone who can bond with the kids a little bit, maybe be more invested in that and be around for a longer time. The idea being that not only do you help prevent crime on the campus, but you then know these kids, and so when they become your 20 and 25-year-olds in town, you knew them from long ago. And so as a no cost, I'm sorry?
Is Kirkman leaving?
He's already retired.
No, he's retired, and so the chief and I are having a conversation with what you might do philosophically. Yeah, so it is a no cost to the city. I think is a win for everybody. It gets us an extra officer that is available to be pulled to calls when needed. So the request is that the council adopt resolution 2655 approving the SRO agreement between Bret Harte and the city.
Council questions, comments? Public questions, comments?
Nothing online.
If not, I'll bring it back and look for a motion for resolution 2655.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll
All
call,
in
Behill.
Aye.
Shemente, absent. Berlio.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Sharado, absent. Motion passes.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Moving on to resolution 2658, approval of 2026-2027 Police Officer Association Bargaining Unit Settlement Package number 25. Michael.
All right, the last one you'll hear from me, I believe, tonight. This is, again, the one-year extension to the agreement with the police department. Their MOU was expiring. There's a lot of it that we'd really like to tackle. There's a whole bunch of things that I think are a little bit outdated. And obviously with the change of chief and the like, we wanted to buy ourselves some time. So the terms of this, in order to get 1 year on this agreement, we negotiated 4 things. The first is an 8% pay raise beginning on July 1st, 2026. We are underfunded, underpaying our police officers relative to departments around, so we think that will help keep them competitive. We changed the cap of the insurance. They used to have a percentage. This will put them again in line with the other bargaining units with a cap of $2,725 or up to that amount for each of the police officer employees. It does remove the cell phone stipend. In the past, we provided, they could have their own cell phone. We think for a number of reasons, having police officers with their own phone in their line of duty is not ideal, right? They're gonna have pictures of things. So we're removing the stipend and we have provided to each of them their own cell phone, work one. And then they agreed to extend the probation period. It was previously 12 months. With this, it'll go to 18 months. And the reason we wanted that is there are times in which we send officers to the post training, and then by the time they get back, and then they go through our field training, I mean, heck, they're almost out of probation before they're really out on the street on their own. So by mutual agreement, they wanted to have 18 months of probation so that we can be sure that by the time we get them off, it's the employee that we want. And so the request is that the council adopt resolution 2658, approving the amendments to the Angels Camp Police Officer Association bargaining agreement.
Council, questions, comments? Public, questions, comments?
Nothing online.
I will bring it back for resolution 2656.
So moved.
I will make a second.
Dominating voice.
Roll call, Hill.
Aye.
Shemente, absent. Brolio.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Corrado, absent. Motion passed.
Okay, item 11E, resolution 2656, discussion and direction on proposed water, wastewater, and Utica rate increase and change on billing fiscal year 26-27. Michelle.
Good evening, council members. I'm bringing before you our proposed rates for 26-27 for water and wastewater adjustments. And it's in two parts. We're talking about the rate increase that's part of our Prop 218 rate study that we did a year ago, and then also changing some modifications to our billing cycle. So we'll start with the water rates. So sort of the background, in 2024, we did a water rate study with Bartle Wells. It was a 5-year plan of rate increases. They looked at salaries, they looked at operating costs, they looked at our reserves, they looked at all of our capital improvement projects we had set aside, and took that analysis, had proposed a rate study for the next 5 years. We went ahead, we started the Prop 218. In January of 25, we had a workshop where we had open to the public, people attended. There were letters that went out, and we went through and held the two public hearings and had the Prop 218 that Bartle Wells oversaw, and the council approved the rate study. So what I'm bringing you tonight is the plan that was in that rate study for the rate increases. So looking at that, we're proposing the water utility increase of 3%, which is the maximum that we can charge per the rate study. UWPA pass-through fees of 6.22, which is the maximum that we can charge, and then the wastewater utility at 2%. And looking every year, I do a budget analysis. We're in the middle of preparing our budget for next fiscal year, so looking at increased costs that we're going to have, and the rates they did look at inflation. They looked at a 5% in terms of for staff increase to salaries and benefits. And looking at those costs, I feel comfortable with going with what the plan has said, especially with us spending down, our reserves right now on current capital projects. We're just finished the Vallecito sewer line. We had done the Booster Way. We replaced all of the water meters. Those were all projects that were slated in the rate study and that we have accomplished. And then we have projects we'll be moving forward with the East Trunk sewer line. We also replaced, the water meters, they were looking at the cammering the sewer lines, and then there's a phase 2 to that project that they'll be doing more of those sewer lines this next year. So looking at that, I feel comfortable with recommending and sticking with, because in years past, we've sold ourselves short. We didn't do a slight increase every year, and then unfortunately, there was a large increase that had to happen. That was in the previous rate study. And so I feel like conservatively, we need to follow the plan this year, and looking at those different costs, and I recommend moving forward with what the plan has for those increases. Last year, just for comparison, we had brought the water was up 2% instead of 3%. We went down a little bit, and the utility, the wastewater utility was at 1%. And so, like I said, this year I'm recommending the full increase.
And then Utica we offset last year with the reserve.
Some of the reserve, correct. And then the second part of this is our cycle. So currently right now we're reading meters on the 20th of the month. And usually we finish that somewhere around the 25th, 26th of the meter reading, going out, getting rereads. That was when they were manual. Now that they're automatic, we did about 1,400 meters this last cycle that are in the ground. So most of the 5/8 and the 3/4 inch meters are automatic meter readers now. We're going to be putting in the larger meters. And so we read about 1,400 meters this last billing cycle on May 20th in about 4 hours. So instead of 3 days, then having to do rereads for a day or two, we're now down to 4 hours in a day of reading those meters. So what we would like to propose is changing that cycle, because right now it's the 21st of the month through the 20th of the following month. And when we're doing state water reporting at the plant, they're looking at the last day of the month. So it's the first through the last day of the month. So we would like to align the meter reading at the same time so that the reports are in line with each other, so that the meter reading and the reports at the plant can now tie. So that's the first part. So that would be shifting it so that we read meters on the last day. We'll be able to read meters in a full day, and then moving the billing cycle so that then we would get the billing out by the 5th of the month, and then we would propose extending that due date, which would take it from being due on the 20th of the month to the 25th, which actually I hear from a lot of seniors that would be better for them, because when the timing of their Social Security check and they need that to pay the water bill, they're able to gives them a little bit more time. And then currently right now, we don't have a grace period. So if it's not paid on the 20th, they get a late fee on the 21st. I would like to propose a 5-day grace period so that the bill would now be due on the 25th. If it's not paid by the 30th, then on the 1st of the month they would get, or the 31st, they would get the late fee. And most utility companies do have a 5-day grace period, but it was nothing that was ever presented, and it's not in anything that we have for the city. So those were the changes that I was proposing to the billing cycle. Do you have any questions?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
The meter reading, we're saving a bunch of money because of all the time we're saving on the meter reading. How are we passing that on to our ratepayers, that savings?
The savings of
That's
the
exactly what I was thinking.
the meter reading. So actually the savings of the time, so we're talking about staff time, so that frees up staff time in public works. So now they're able to work on other projects that were always they sold short or they weren't able to get to. It frees up their time because we're not having a staff of 4 people out reading meters for so many days. It's now 2 people out pulling the data and bringing that in. And then there's my staff time that we're looking at of, where we had to hand key all those meter reads and do the analysis. So there is a savings there, but we run a very tight schedule. And so this is going to open up the opportunity that we're able to now look at what Public Works can do, adding more enhancements to, their responsibilities throughout the
And the
city.
city did absorb the cost of those meters.
They did, yeah. It was all part of our capital improvement project, so nothing's getting passed on to the ratepayers.
Okay. And then as far as the late fees go, not having a grace period sounds harsh, but also the late fees are used to help offset the low-income ratepayers' bills.
Correct.
And by having that 5-day grace period, how much do you think that will impact that fund for the low-income ratepayers?
I think that we'll see, because we have about, it's about 45,000 to 50,000 that we plan to bring in on those late fees annually. And that does get impacted, but we also have a plan in place now of where we're investing our money, where in the past, the last 3 years ago, we did not invest our money. And so part of that interest we can use to help continue with that CAP program and even possibly expand it. And that's something that we can always bring forward with council and looking at it.
So you feel like the additional interest income is more than
It is.
the reduction in late fees by putting in 5 days?
Correct.
Again, it's harsh not having a rate.
No. Yeah.
Window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you answer those questions for me?
Yeah.
I see more on there.
There is. And back to Scott's thing too. So so this took 4 hours for 1,400 meters, which is basically half of our meters, right?
More,
A little over, right. We have like another 1,000 to go. So in one day, 2 guys should be able to read those meters. Now, it was 6 days before for 2? Is that what I remember?
There were 4 people.
Yeah.
And then it would take 3 to 4 days to read the meters.
Okay.
And then we'd have to send them back out for rereads, and that could take 1 to 2 days for the rereads.
So that's, I think, where the savings, and this is in my mind, and I'm just speaking out loud on it, is now those 3 less days will be not billed to the enterprise fund. They'll be billed to Public Works, but those are things we can get done at Public Works. So you'll see the cost.
Our bathrooms can be fixed, we got lights inside.
Right, they can do the projects, and we won't be billing that enterprise fund for those extra 3
Right,
days.
we won't have to.
So there will be some savings. It'll still be spent in Public Works and other
That's
spots.
3 days and 2 extra employees though.
Yeah, no, I know, that's a lot of days.
Yeah.
So
And we would
next time
have
we do a 218, we'll have to adjust it. We'll be able to show.
That those numbers are down.
Those numbers are down, so it'll make it harder to justify any increases.
And when they put their time, because we have we've moved 100% of the employees to electronic timesheets now. And Public Works does allocate their time now on their electronic timesheet. So they choose, water, wastewater, a combo split, or whether they're working in Public Works. So as that shifts, and that's something I'm looking at in this budget year, looking at the analysis that we've had so far from the timesheets, the hours we'll be able to see and run from that analysis, just comparing timesheets from now versus now that we're moving forward with the meters, because this was the first month that we read. I think the first month we did a test of 400 meters, that was in April.
Right.
We did 1,400 meters in May, and then we're hoping June, July, we get the rest of them. Those are the larger meters that they're still being put into the ground.
I think it's important to state too, that all the capital improvement projects that we're doing right now, it's painful, but we have a very old city with a very few number of people in it, and it's been deferred for so long. So while it's painful to get this done, we're doing the right thing for the future.
Why you keep stealing thunder? I'm just kidding. I flipped my page. I had the same thing.
Roll.
No, that was awesome. Thank you. You said exactly.
I thought you were done. Roll.
No. I'm just saying. I'm happy. I'm happy with the CIP projects that have been done, and it took some time to build those reserves. And like you said, there was a time where we didn't raise rates, and it was hard to catch up. But I'm with Scott on. I'm happy those projects are getting done, and we're going to save some money.
Are you done? I have one more thing.
Go for it. Now I am done.
It's always difficult to raise rates on anything like this, but to your point earlier, we're only raising 2% on the one and 3% on the other kind of thing. We're not one year we had to raise 19% because we went so long without increases. So this is small incremental increases. I see through 2030, we're going, water up $9, and I think sewer was up $11 between now and the end of June of 2030. So we're incrementally getting there. We're being responsible, and I appreciate that approach.
Yes. And if you look at just the cost of living, of what it increases, and this is in line, in line with that. So, and I know in the rate study, we looked at what that trending was, and then also, given we have certain, merit increases or planned increases, but we looked at that as like a 5%, because that's typically what that annual increase would be for staffing.
And what was the increase on the water last year, 1%?
It was 2% on the water last year.
And then why the big one for UWPA?
So that one was planned in there. The 6.22 was where we had to be to meet. We were looking at that 5-year contribution rate that we had received from UWPA, because in the past, it went up and down every year. There might have been a lower year, and then the next year it was like triple, and so we wanted consistency. So they had hired a financial consultant, had come up with a 5-year rate increase plan that also took into consideration their capital projects that they had to do, so it was sort of like we based our rates off of what we're going to have to contribute to them as being part of the JPA. And that was all in the work plan. And so it sounds large. Let me pull up the data here. So in UWPA, so it's currently at $14.33. And it's going up to $15.22 is the 6.22% increase.
Isn't that almost irrelevant as far as if it doesn't go up there, then it's going to go up on the other side when we do our member contributions? They'll just make it that much higher. So it's kind of I always looked at the UWPA fee as not even that relevant, because every year both member entities have to put in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And that's the fixed contribution.
And it would be more if that number was lower. It'd be less if that one number was higher. So it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, and that was the 5-year plan, contribution plan, because it was all over the place. Every year, it was a different contribution. And so when they had that financial study done and they were able to get a set rate where they could show us what that contribution was going to be for like the next 5 years, and that helped us, especially as we were doing our rate study, to put that in there and have something that's more consistent than what we were paying before.
I always try to have that number lower so that people's monthly bills, they get that and they don't have to see this UWPA fee staring right in the face, when it could just be part of the members.
It could be the total members contribution. My understanding is that we need to break that out on the bill for transparency of what that cost is. All those funds are kept in a separate fund. So we have our enterprise funds, and then we have a special revenue fund for UWPA. So anything we collect on that $14, or if it goes up to $15, it's set aside in a special fund, and it can't be spent on anything else but UWPA. And that's where we had the reserve that Alvin was talking about.
Right, it's just a pass-through.
It's a pass-through.
It's just a straight pass-through. There's no, But I didn't see what you had. Ask Michelle. I saw math that I didn't. Well, I didn't even turn it off, so there was a question there.
No, I was just curious. I was just doing that, basically looking at a bill, and then I was multiplying that percentage. It's like going to go up. Like if you have a $200 bill, it's going up like $20.
Yeah, and I did include the letter that we will send out to ratepayers. We'll put that in the mail tomorrow. That talks about the rate increase, and let's see, and that was in the packet here, so that we could look at. But yes, it's only, it's about $20. here we go. So a 5/8 meter currently for water is 47.87, and that will go up to 49.31. And then we talked about the consumption, or the volumetric, the consumption. So the consumption on your water bill is currently charged 1 HCF 748 gallons. For 748 gallons, it's $1.72. That's going up to $1.77. And then the UWPA fees, that's $14.33 for a 5/8 meter. It's going up to $15.22. And that's just a flat rate. And that goes into that special fund that is UWPA to pay those contributions and anything from the JPA. And then our wastewater, a flat rate for residential is currently at 109, and it'll go up to 111.21. And then the non-residential, which is our businesses, it's currently at 137.66, and that'll go to 140.41. And with this rate study, we also put into place volumetric for businesses. That's where we were looking for that fairness between you have a laundromat or a restaurant versus an office. And so we were able to get that flat rate lower to stay lower. And then by looking at the volumetric, so they look at the winter months, so from January through April, we look at the average water consumption during that period. And they're able to, they have so many gallons that they're able to receive under that flat rate, and then anything above that in usage would be then charged at this volumetric rate, which is 0.0214, so it's a little over 2 cents per HCF based on the winter uses. Majority of our smaller businesses, they're paying just the flat rate. And that includes all of that. The larger businesses, some of the restaurants, car wash, and laundromats, those things, those are the higher users of water. And so then it helps, and we wanted to make it fair so that if you just had an office with a single bathroom, you're not it's not just spread out amongst all those businesses. It's more like the type of business and based off of your water usage.
Okay.
And we made that change last year.
Okay, council, any more questions?
Not right now.
Public comment, what do we got?
Nothing.
You gotta come up to the podium.
I got 2 quick questions. One, Scott, it is relevant. You said that you could power things, not really relevant. It really is. It started out at $2, and it's grown to what's at. Their budget is out of control, and nobody's stepping in to reel that in. They've got 10 employees to run a system that used to be ran by 3. And I know that for a fact. My dad did it for 38 years, and I worked on it too. I'm very familiar with the system. Their general manager's salary is about $200,000 a year with benefits. We're a little out of touch here. For something that was supposed to be a $2 fee until the loan was paid back, and then it was supposed to hold its own. It's not holding its own. It's sinking quickly. And I get it. We need that. But we need to look at cutting there to save here. And you're right. It's still $15 a month. Doesn't seem like a lot. But when it started out at 2, and now it's 15, and there's more to come, it's bothersome. The second thing, I got a question about the billing. Why is it we can't get our bill in time to pay it?
The billing goes out on the end of the month.
Okay. And I'll be lucky to get it by the 15th.
And that could be the mail. I know the mail.
I'm gonna go no. I was told that it was because the company you guys are using is slow to get the bills out.
They're not slow to get it, because they, like today, they mailed the bills. And today is the 2nd.
I'll bring my postmarked envelope in with it, because the last time it was postmarked in Sacramento on the 13th. I got it on the 15th. It's due on the 20th. For me to do it through my bank, through bank pay, it takes 10 days. I can't pay it on time.
Right.
So I gotta write a check, I gotta drive to City Hall and pay it, or I gotta pay a fee to use my debit card, or I gotta let you guys take it out automatically, which if there's an error, it'll take me 6 months to get my money back.
And you can also get your bill emailed to you, and that would be, it can send an email to you automatically,
I
and
like
that's
this.
right when it's generated.
I
You
like
can do
my
both,
bill.
Mike.
I like
You
my
can get
bill.
both.
That's fine, I don't want both, I like my bill.
Okay.
I'm not blaming you, I'm saying, we
No,
went
I
to some company, God knows how much money that
Been
cost.
with the company I've been here for 4 years, and they've been in place prior to that.
Maybe we need to look at switching companies, because for some reason, we can't get our bills on time.
We did change the company when we did the system upgrade, and we're actually saving money with this new company.
It's not worth it.
Okay.
It's not worth it. But like I said, Scott, I'm not throwing you under the bus here, but I'm just saying, I know that system, and you're right, it's irrelevant to a point, and it's continued to go up, and I don't think it's done.
Yeah, I didn't intend to say that Unico was irrelevant, but it's just the way the billing is, because it's either paid Peter or paid Paul. We're paying out the same, just different buckets, but apparently transparency wise, it's relevant, and I get your point.
But the buckets need to be combined and drained.
I get your point.
Any other public comment? You're up there.
Hello, my name is Tracy. I live down at South Main. I live in a very old house. She's 109 years old. I love my home. I'm a correctional officer with the state of California. I live by myself. I pay $172 a month for water. I do not go through $172. And now we want to raise it again. And you said there's been no raises, that we haven't, it's just been a little bit. When I lived there, it was $112. And now it's $172. And now we want to raise it again. I don't get 5% raises. I work for the state of California. I don't get a 5% raise. I've been there for 20 years. I would love to retire. I was supposed to retire 5 years ago. I work in a gun tower. I can't see the inmates fighting. I can't tell if they're stabbing someone or if they're having a seizure. Okay? I need to retire. My neighbors would like to retire. Nobody can retire because my house payment is less than my taxes, and everything just keeps going up. I can't retire. I would love to retire, but I can't because everything keeps going up. Now, is there any way we can just stop? I mean, I'm 55. Can we just stop some of this? Maybe we can cut, kind of like what Mike said, maybe we could kind of cut the fat somewhere else. I'm not looking at it from, there's gotta be another way. People are hungry, I'm looking at it from your people that are voting. Come on, guys. My neighbors are trying to pay their water bill and they're eating canned tuna. Maybe we need to, maybe a little less on the water bill, maybe we should start thinking about the people, okay? This is ridiculous. I mean, you're like saying that's not relevant. It is relevant. People are stressing out. People are worried. And we're over here, oh, it's only $15. People are stressed. It is a big deal. I mean, I'm not trying to be the mean one here, but you guys need to kind of take a look at who's voting and who's paying. It is a big deal. Your people and angels are getting stressed. They're worried. I've never been here. I've lived here forever. Love my home. Drunk drivers love going through my yard. I love it here, but it's getting to a point where we can't stay. I've worked forever. I want to retire. I can't retire because I'm scared, because now I can't afford it. So if there's any way, maybe you guys could kind of look at maybe cutting the fat somewhere else and maybe letting your people afford to live. It would just be kind of appreciated, just from a human point of view. It would be awesome. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Nothing on mine.
So we'll bring it back to council. Who's going to make that first? Me.
That's too bad. For the operators.
Man, I understand where everybody's coming from on it, and it is a big deal to raise water and sewer rates, even if it's 2%, 1%, 6%. The only thing I can say from me sitting on here, the short amount of time that I have been here, is that the can was kicked and the fat was cut a lot in years past. A lot. Whether that was at Utica, whether that was in City of Angels for water and sewer, and now there's some major maintenance things that have to happen. Whether that's compliance with state, whether that's dams you have up the hill that are now spalding and have to have things done. There are some major things that have to happen to keep water and sewer flowing for the city too. So it's a rough spot to sit on this, to know that you have to pay those things.
We pay too.
And we pay it too. So that's my only thing.
And I agree.
And it is really hard. And all I know is that 19% or whatever it was 8 years ago that happened, that one was horrible. That was really rough.
Bless you.
So there's my quick spiel. I will say, anybody on the Utica thing, please go talk to Eric. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens there. There's a lot of information that can come to a lot of people too. So there we go. That's my spiel at the moment.
I have to say the same thing. I do feel your frustration, because I've seen what the water has went up since I moved down the hill, and I'm just going. So I do feel the frustration and the thoughts of wanting to retire at some point, and everything keeps going up. And like they said, it is hard when it's something that hadn't been taken care of for so long, and I feel like now not us just necessarily, but the city is in a mess because of the fact that it wasn't taken care of.
Right.
And as far as salaries go up the hill, yeah.
Well, the salaries go up the hill. Like there's been comments that that weighted benefits. I can tell you, one of the managers that just got hired on, he doesn't even have benefits. He doesn't take them. So there's some things that I think I would love for people to go talk to the correct agencies and get proper information on stuff.
I did.
There's stuff that's been put out on Facebook in different places that is false information too. Very false, and it's never retracted or brought back, and it stirs the pot really bad. So my thing is to please go get solid information.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, get solid information and then please come. And I love educated, smart conversation. I'll have it all day long with anybody. So there's my spiel. So moving back to this, I guess resolution 2656 is on the table. I will make a motion to approve resolution 2656 with, how do we have to do this here? Do we have to do it in a two-part with the meters first, the meter reading first?
Let me do that.
Okay, because do we have to do it as a two-part, or is it all?
It's all in one.
It's all in one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve resolution 2656.
Before we vote on that, I do want to address one thing Mr. Zilke mentioned. And you can compare back to when it was first done, when Vern was running the show, and they have 3 people, I guess. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe your dad was there, didn't what have you. I would like to see the staffing level question addressed, because there's still the water coming through the same flume and ditch. It's still the same 2 powerhouses. I know there are compliance issues that have caused them to add some staff, but I would like to address that. What was the staff back then? What are the staffing levels now, and why? And I think that's a very valid question, and that's one I'm happy to pose to UWPA. I'm not happy about this either. I've always been kind of a watchdog on UWPA, and I've always asked a lot of questions, and quite frankly, I don't get a lot of the answers that I want. But I do know that we have an old, antiquated system, and we have very few ratepayers that have to support that entire system. So it just makes common sense that we're going to be paying, our bills are going to be up there compared to CCWD and to others. We're still a little bit lower than they are. I'm not happy about this. I'm going to support it. I'll second the motion, but this is something we do need to address and get a lot tougher questions answered.
And when I report out, I will say that there's, well, I showed you last, yeah, either way, we'll
Okay.
go that down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So there's a first, a second.
Open to roll call. Behill,
All right.
Clemente absent, Berlio,
Aye.
Scott, Gerardo absent, motion passes.
Item F, Resolution 2657, RMRA SB1 funding project list and resolution fiscal year 2026-27. Michelle.
Hi, I'm back again. So, every year, we're required to report and present a project to the state on how we are spending our SB1 Road Repair and Accountability, part of the Road Repair Accountability Act, RMRA funds. And then it requires a council approval to accept the project. Last year, when Aaron presented the pavement management plan, he put that together in a 5-year plan. And it was suggested at that time that we follow that plan with the request for these funds. The funds that come in are a little over $100,000 a year from the state, and it has to be used on either purchasing equipment. One year we purchased a crack sealer. Another year we used that to put in the speed tables and repave Gardner Way. And now, this current year that we're closing out, we had that pavement management project that we'll be able to, we'll request it to continue on. We went out and did the RFP recently. And so that was phase 1 or the year 1 of this plan. That will continue on with the funds that we had set aside. And so this is for 26-27, and we're looking at year 2 of the pavement management plan. So we will be focusing on, let's see here, I have listed the project. So looking at the 26-27, we have the candidate streets listed in here for road repair. The project location, the intention of the project is to make repairs to the paved surface throughout town. The following streets have been identified for treatment using the Street Saver database and are subject to change. And so we're looking at Bragg Street, which it has sections 1 through 2, and this is directly from our pavement management plan. Clifton Lane, Gold Cliff Road, Greenhorn Creek Road, that's the sections 1 through 13. Hillcrest Street, section 1, Mark Twain Road, section 1 through 8. Murphy's Grave Road, section 1, Purdy Road, section 1 through 3. Stanislaus Avenue, section 1 through 3. Tyrone Court, section 1, and Tyrone Road, section 1. Tryon. And so if this plan is accepted tonight to go forward and use these funds, we're looking at doing a rapid setting slurry that was proposed in year 2 of that pavement management plan. And then the council, by accepting this resolution, I will then be able to submit this to the state to put as our project for fiscal year 26-27. Any questions?
Council questions?
There's a couple of comments. This one, I noticed a little bit of surprise on some faces when some of these roads were mentioned. These are the roads that are, for better description, least worst off. These are roads that by doing a quick seal, we can extend their life for many, many years. Next year, we'll be addressing roads that are a little bit worse off, and the roads that are the worst, we're going to address them maybe 5 years or so down the line. Because of the amount of money, we can just get way more linear feet per dollar early on, protect the roads that we can protect, and then we'll deal with the really hard ones. So that's just a comment I wanted to make.
Good. Public?
You're gonna slurry seal Stanislaus Avenue?
Part of it.
You have
I
to
don't
get up to
think-
the podium, sir.
Public comment?
I can hear me.
You gotta go up there.
Jesus Christ.
No, Alvin Brolio.
Well, you're acting like, what is section 1 through 3?
Understand.
Oh, on the section 1 through.
Has anybody here drove down Stanislaus Avenue lately?
I drive it all the time.
It's a shithole. It's a disaster. There's a patch in front of my house that's longer than that table, and it's been there for 10 years of cold cutback. You can't slurry that, it won't hold. The intersection of Gold Cliff and Stanislaus is alligator and falling completely apart. You can't slurry seal that, it won't hold. That's a waste of money, put the money somewhere else. I don't know who did your study, but they need an education in pavement management. And Greenhorn Creek, how much more money are we gonna put into the roads? That road's been paved twice since that subdivision was built. And I know that for a fact. And it's fallen apart because it wasn't built to state standards. It was built to the LLC, and then they have abandoned it. Right here, this council did. They let it go. And the city got stuck with those roads that weren't built to standards.
I think they're talking about Greenhorn Creek Road, the main one that runs outside the.
Yeah, I walk it every Sunday, and it's falling apart. It's because they keep watering the median, and it's gonna continue to fall apart until you get the water out of the middle of the road. But I mean, Stanislaus, go look at it, Alvin, trust me. They just trenched it all up for the pavement, for the water line, and then they did a bunch of patching and cold banks. It's a mess. That ain't gonna work. It just wastes money, put money somewhere else. It needs to be repaved.
Any other public comment at the moment? Online?
Nothing online.
Back to council? Any
I'm trying to
questions?
find the pavement plan.
I know, I'd say,
What date?
I know, that was
Um,
the payment plan one we,
When agenda was that on?
it was in August, and then we did it again.
So-
Where did you find the section 1 through 3 thing? They're all-
they were projected. So the only thing I can say too on this is public comment, I don't think is, I'm just throwing out, and everybody can tell me different too, is not meant to go back into agendas and everything. We can direct you to go to city staff and meet with Aaron and go over that whole
Who's
entire.
Aaron?
He's a city engineer.
Does he work there full-time?
Well, he takes on all of our projects. Yeah, he's not full-time with us. He's contracted through us, for us. So that's what I would say at the moment. Because I can't do it.
Well, you should have it, the section, it should define it somewhere, so piece of paper.
It does. It defines it
Okay.
in previous, because we have the whole study for the next 5 years. He's laid out this entire thing. So yeah, go see Aaron. Please, go to City Hall and see Aaron. Any other questions or anything at the moment? If not, I'll look for a resolution 2657 motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Beal.
Aye.
Shemente absent, Berlio.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Gerardo absent, motion passes.
Might be able to email it to you too. Okay.
Item 12, information items.
Nothing from staff.
Item 13, administration report, monthly staff report, May 25. Michael?
Yeah, just a handful of things. We do have a slightly modified list as we tried to make things more interactive and live with various folks to include the engineer. We did these online and his comments did not get saved into the, so that just has his notes in there. A couple of things I wanted to highlight. Michelle kind of took part of it about the meters. I thought that was pretty great. They're doing 1,600 meters in like 4 hours. Eliminates all the fat finger errors and those kind of things. A lot more reporting both from the chief of police as well as from Haley doing various public releases and things like that, keeping the public informed. We have the auditors on site now. We did the 2024 audit last year, got really good results. The current auditors are on site now. The delay was because we shifted through the enterprise system, so we had to hold off until now to get everything set through the year. So 2025 is being audited right now. To expect that to go well as well. Interesting talk about the sewer lines. As an example, one of the things that happened in the last few days is there's a section of sewer line right in front of like where Save Mart is on South Main Street that has failed. We're scoping that now to see how much of that will have to be replaced. And the trouble, of course, is once you get in there and you start trying to reconnect it, it's crumbling as it is. So we got to find a spot where there's enough, meat, if you will, to put a new pipe on. Foundry Lane is going well. We got now we're going to look to potentially have an offer and take over that strip of land, get an easement, and do a bunch of like swaps. MACT is looking to partner with us in that, and I think there's some progress we'll report to you here in the next few weeks. some code enforcement work that we're happy about. With the late season rains, grass is growing longer in the season than it normally would, and so we're delaying some of the enforcement to give folks a time, either who cut early and need to cut again, or just who are waiting for the grass to finish growing before you cut it. Otherwise, obviously you cut it, it grows back, and it kind of defeats the purpose. Obviously, conversations about the Altaville Mourners Fire Protection District. Looking to bring that to you on the 16th. But interestingly, the stats are in the monthly report. 80% of our calls last month were for non-fire specific things. It's lift assist, it's medical calls and the like. I think that's instructive going forward in how we staff things. And then we are members of a JPA, the Central San Joaquin Valley Risk Management Agency. Not super happy with them, frankly, just as an initial assessment. And so if you want to see where things are done and make it better, you join it. So I am now on the admin and finance subcommittee of the, whatever the hell their acronym is, the POMA. So that will be an interesting endeavor for me. So that concludes the admin.
Any questions? Okay. City council report.
No report.
I don't have any either. Haven't had any meetings this
The only thing I got at the moment is the Utica met last Tuesday. We got a budget done. Speaking to Michelle's earlier about that 5-year contribution study, I don't know how much water that holds because we've never actually ratified that. We were waiting on Murphy's to finish up. We never got it because they haven't finished it up. So I don't know where that falls anymore. But we definitely had to balance the budget with extra funds from each agency that we took out of reserves. So it's not that the contribution levels went up or anything that nature, but we had to balance it with extra funds that Utica and that Murphy's and Angels were holding. Part of that was due to we had a major valve failure that has had no maintenance done in over 50 years at Murphy's powerhouse. The DSOD is requiring us to do some dam safety type stuff up there that we can't ignore it. And I'd have to look at my notes, but there was a couple other ones too. So that's what I got to report from there. Correspondence? Okay. Council calendar?
Yes, so we have June up now. We are now officially in June. But all of that being said, just a few things that have been added on outside of your normal scheduled commissions. We have Angels Camp Farmers Market that's starting on the 12th, so we'll see a lot more of that within the community. But outside of that, that'll go through September, I believe, the end of September. But outside of that, we also have added City Hall coffee. So an attempt to kind of broaden our communication in the community. So if you do want to sit down with the city administrator or some of the staff, it'll be a time while we're out in the community sitting at a local coffee shop trying to both garner business for local coffee and cafes, while also giving the opportunity to individuals within the community to come and talk to city staff, voice their concerns, strategically placed on the same day as city council meetings, so hoping to move forward with those in the mornings of city council meetings. So just wanted to throw that out there. We'll have a flyer soon to share that as well.
Okay.
Very nice.
I will pick up COG tomorrow. Okay. And past that, any future agenda items? Okay. Past that, I would move on to item number 18, which I believe is adjournment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
Pico,
Aye.
Tremendous, absent, Aurelio,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Sharada.